Mauricio Pochettino is in the frame to be the new Manchester United boss 2 years after missing out on the job. Pochettino has left Chelsea by mutual consent, and Ineos chief Sir Jim Ratcliffe could be ready to have talks with the former Tottenham boss, with Erik Ten Hag clinging onto his job at Old Trafford.
Man United transfer news live. All the latest deals and rumours from Old Trafford. The 52-year-old Argentine was in a two-horse race with Ten Hag for the United job in April 2022, as he approached the exit door at Paris Saint-Germain. United's then kingmakers Richard Arnold and John Murtough are understood to have spoken to him then.
But was swayed by Ten Hag's depth of knowledge of United and his ideas to turn things round. The Dutchman did just that in his first season, finishing third and winning the Carabao Cup.
Read more. Man United NEWSBLUES the Daddy. 7 bosses who could replace Poch, including McKenna after shock exit. Free bets, free bet offers and bonuses for football from our betting partners, but things have gone into reverse in this campaign with an 8th placed Premier League finish and group stage exit from the Champions League. United still have this Saturday's FA Cup final to come, in a repeat of last year's Wembley showpiece against neighbours Manchester City.
But even in the unlikely event of winning that, Ten Hag could still be out. New United part owner Ratcliffe refused again last week in an interview with Sky to give Ten Hag a public vote of confidence. Most read in football's stairway to Devon Rooney nears management return, with legend in contention for new role. Touch and go. Tuchel frontrunner for Man United job and joins axed Pochettino on shortlist. Greal deal. Bayern Munich lineup. Sensational swoop for Grealish under ex-City star. Company free agent. Forgotten former England star wakes up unemployed aged 34 after H is released. Why Man United must win FA Cup. Erik Ten Hag says Manchester United must pay back their world-class fans with an FA Cup triumph after their awful league season, writes Tom Balke.
United came 8th, which was their lowest ever finish, despite winning 2-0 on the final day at Brighton. They also came away from a miserable campaign with a negative goal difference, but still can win a trophy when they take on Manchester City in next week's cup final.
The away fans roared themselves hoarse, just as they have done all term despite the poor results. Boss Ten Hag said, "We have the best fans in the world, and I mean this. I have never had this experience when you have a season like us, which is by far not good enough, that the supporters are with us.
They are with us in the bad season, and in bad times they are there. I think also they know why the bad times are there. But we have to pay them back, and we have to do everything to give them a trophy next week, but also for the future, we have to perform better."
United won thanks to late goals from Diogo Dalot and Rasmus Højlund. But for the second game running, Højlund began the match on the bench as United opted for a false 9, in a hint over how United will set up in the cup final. That was how they played in March's 3-1 defeat to City at the Etihad in the League, too.
Ten Hag added, "It's a luxury problem. Both formations can be a success because we can set up like we did at the Etihad, where we were a threat with movement in behind. But of course with Rasmus Højlund in this form it's absolutely a consideration and a thought that we have to consider.
You need not only 11 players in a tough final but a bench as well. Højlund's tally now stands at 16 goals in his maiden season after the 21-year-old arrived from Atalanta for £72 million last summer. Reflecting on the Danes' campaign, Ten Hag observed, "It could always be better, but don't forget he had 3 injuries this season.
He came in with the injury, missed the start, then he got injured before winter and then he got injured after winter. So every time that broke his rhythm, and if you then shoot 16 goals for the first season it's okay.
And it's not over, we have to play the FA Cup final." He preferred instead to talk about the setup at the club that has failed successive managers. Pochettino would be a popular choice amongst fans for his exciting style of play that took Tottenham to the Champions League final back in 2019, beating Ten Hag's Ajax with an incredible comeback in the semi-final second leg in Amsterdam.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe turns Man United toxic. Pochettino's Chelsea record. Mauricio Pochettino had just started to turn Chelsea around. An impressive run of end-of-season form saw the Blues leapfrog the likes of Manchester United and Newcastle to finish 6th in the Premier League, and earn a Europa League spot.
But it wasn't enough to keep him in a job, as it was announced on Tuesday evening that the Argentine had left. Here are all Pochettino's Stamford Bridge stats. Premier League 6th, FA Cup, semi-finals, lost to Man City. Carabao Cup, runners-up, lost to Liverpool. Total record, games 51 wins 26 draws 11 defeats 14 goals for 103 goals against 74. Meanwhile, 2 managers celebrating promotion to the Prem are rated contenders to succeed Poch at Stamford Bridge.
One of those, Ipswich's Kieran McKenna, has also been linked with the Old Trafford job. The other is Leicester's Enzo Maresca, whose future at the King Power was already far from certain.
Former Brighton chief Roberto De Zerbi and Stuttgart boss Sebastian Hoeneß are other names already being mentioned. Girona boss Michel and ex-Germany manager Hansi Flick might also be in the running.
Inevitably, ex-United and Chelsea chief Jose Mourinho has been talked of, but must be an extremely long shot. Burley's record would make even Abramovich blush. We're back to square one, here we go again.
Just when some positivity was building around the place and an optimistic eye was being cast to the future, Clearlake Capital go hurtling full pelt back to the drawing board, writes Sunsport's Tom Sheen. Mauricio Pochettino leaving will make it 6 different managers in less than 2 years when next season rolls around, a record that would make Roman Abramovich blush.
But while the oligarch was keeping Chelsea's HR department busy by regularly handing out P45s, He was also regularly delivering world-class players in the hope of delivering instant silverware. There was no Vision 2030, talk of players as financial assets or ridiculous 8-year contracts that potentially hamstring the club.
Hiring and firing worked under the previous regime because Chelsea had a spine of world-class talent that they were always looking to improve upon, not a group of players who looked light years away from the top teams in the land. One thing is for sure, though. If Clear Lake carry on down this road, they'll need a rebrand to Vision 2060.
Click here to read Tom's damning verdict in full.